Scouts are tasked with growing a garden for the Outdoor Creativity Badge, and in spite of all my past efforts, I am not the best gardener, but Scouts don't give up. Most of my efforts have gone into a simple patio and a garden pathway I put down a few years ago leading to the backyard. But after this year's record-breaking winter freezes, it was like starting with a clean slate. I mean, these shots are from early March, and they only bring to mind the word death, because I lost so many plants. Here are a couple of shots from the little garden in front of the house, too. I mean, everything was gone, and I thought I'd lost my sago palm. A complete bummer. But try again I did, and here are some shots to show where I am. I did most of the planting by early May so that the plants could get acclimated before the Texas heat set in, and the plan is to rebuild the garden over the next couple of years. Anything in the ground now is a perennial. I planted salvia, sage, lantana, and firebrush for color. I had an Esperanza plant that made it through the winter, so I planted a second one because it really has beautiful yellow bell-like blossoms all summer long. A few perennials are in pots, but most of the pots have lots of annuals in them for more color. Plus, those pots, they give a little height to the garden until it becomes established again, and I'll plant more perennials next year. Now, the patio is so simple, but it's this great little outdoor room thanks to the privacy fence that our friend Josh and Charles built last year. The front's looking a good deal better too, but it still needs more work. I cut back the sago's dead fronds and waited patiently until it turned out that the sago was alive. And most of this area gets very little direct light, so I went with a lot of impatiens and caladiums, and I have to add some coleus in there too. Now, we first tried growing vegetables 2 years ago with a raised bed, great plants, great soil in the sunniest spot in the yard. But unfortunately, no amount of watering could keep the plants from getting burnt to a crisp in the Texas sun. So this year, with nothing to lose except a couple $100 in fresh soil and new plants, we moved the garden to a spot in the yard that gets only a couple hours of direct sun each day, but about 8 hours of dappled light. And it seems to be working. I mean, check it out. But it might be more than the change in sunlight. For this year, we have introduced a secret weapon. Behold our worm farm. Now, this was Charles's idea, and it's a damn good one, I think. You make a lovely mixture of paper scraps and food scraps and dirt, and the hundreds of worms living in here create this incredibly rich, perfect compost. It's amazing. Anyway, so there we have it. That's the garden for 2011. And now, if it would only rain in Texas.